Здравейте на всички и добре дошли в втора част от видеото, поредицата за голфа. Първо искам да благодаря на всички за позитивните отзиви, както във Facebook на моя профил, така и на лични съобщения. В YouTube мисля, че няма много коментари. Искам да благодаря на всички, които отделиха от времето си и ме е интересно как ще се развие проекта. Второ, исках да се извиня за това, че на някои хора може би им се е завил свят с моите обикаленки в началото на първия клип. Имам някакъв навик, когато трябва да съм концентриран или когато водя важен разговор, да обикалям. Това някак се ми помага малко или много да се задържа мисълта, но ще се опитам да го подобря това, защото на мен самия не ми стана много приятно изобщо, когато последствие обработвах материала и видях, че е доста кофти. Някои хора също казаха, че не е много приятно, но човек се учи докато е жив, затова съм му направил този канал. За момента е само хоби и просто си документирам нещата, които правя, идеите, които имам, но в интерес на истината съжалявам много за обикалянето, ще гледам да не се повтори повече. Да, в това видео ще ви запозная с моят човек Емерсън, който, както обясних в предния клип, има сервис за амортисьори и с моите амортисьори успяхме да постигнем реално сделка за него с КВ. Той вече е оторизиран дилър, сервис и представител на КВ. И по този начин ситуацията беше победа, win-win, както се казва на английски, за двете страни. Така че аз спечелих, че ме беше проверено окачването, той с факта, че му се не може да работи върху КВ, да поръчва пружини и други части. Реално, да, други части също поръчахме, резервния ключ и устройството, което е за регулажа на самото окачване. Тези части трябваше да ги поръчваме честно и понеже липсваха също при мене. И по този начин, да, помогнах и на него и той помогна на мен с преглед на окачването. Благодаря ви много. Надявам се да е полезно това видео и да научите поне нещо за спортните окачвания и амортисьорите, защото Емерсън направи страхотно обяснение и надявам се да ви е интересно. Ако ви харесва съдържанието, ще се радвам да го споделите с приятели. Оставяйте коментари, задавайте въпроси, отворен съм да отговарям на всичко. Надявам се за напред да можем да правим още видеа с Емерсън, както ще разберете малко по-нататък. Той има доста интересни проекти в гаража си. Ако на някой много му е интересно, оставям линк към неговия Инстаграм, към Инстаграма всъщност на фирмата, който аз самия поддържам. В Фейсбук не сме активни, така че да, Инстаграм, евентуално обмисляме YouTube канал, но на който му е интересно, който го влекат тия работи, Олинс, мотори, коли и така нататък, по-специално окачвания. Това е човека, който мога да го препратя. Ако някой също не може да намери кара с окачване Олинс и не може да намери сервис или някой, който да го сервизира, той също работи интернационално. Можете да му изпратите вашите амортисьори и той ще ги сервизира и ще ви ги изпрати обратно. Да, за всякакви въпроси аз също съм отворен, мога да го питам, мога да му предам и така нататък. Но стига толкова. Приятно гледане и до следващия епизод. Мина повече от седмица, откакто оставих амортисьорите, но тъй като момчетата са супер натоварени, не исках да ги претоварвам с моите ангажименти. Мина седмица, докато оставим време да почнат да работят по окачването. Да, сега влизаме вътре да обяснят момчетата какво е състоянието и какво точно ще се случва с окачването. Hey yo.
Are you filming?
I am.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So my buddy Emerson.
How you doing?
Using the mic. Yeah, just a few words about the suspension that I left for you to check and what's gonna happen if it's look good or bad. I think for that price, it's not a bad deal. But
We've got it over here on the bench now. Don't mind the box. Yeah. So yeah, these are your shocks. They're not essentially your shocks. We're just going to give them a quick wash now. We just pulled them out of the box. Yeah, have a little look at them now and how they look afterwards. We'll put them through our handy dandy washing machine.
Okay.
Cool. I'm not going to wash those dirty springs. Rusty and dirty. They'll be worn out. You know, it's much better to just replace them. So here's, let's say, an encapsulated pressure washer with a special cleaning solution. But this makes a massive difference. We don't really like to take shocks into the clean room before we've washed them because, I mean, it's a clean room, right? Obviously the inside of the shocks, when we rebuild them, yeah, they may have black oil, they may have been crashed and, you know, whatever. We pull loads of Loctite and stuff out of them, so there's enough dust and grime that comes out of the shock when you strip it as it is. We definitely don't need to have all of the shit that comes off the track and the road as well in there. Important to clean it out, make sure that all the spring, you know, shocks come in for a service. The spring hardware needs to work too, you know, they need to roll, you need to be able to adjust them. They're adjustable. So that's why it's super important to clean the shocks. That's why it's actually really important to clean your shocks around the car anyways. But when they come in for rebuild or for service, updates, we always do this. That's like the best thing in the world. I wish I had that to clean everything. It's like when you're stripping an engine or when you're redoing your wishbones or whatever, you just come in here. It's like pressure washing, you know what I mean? But it's in a little cabinet in a clean workshop, you know?
Yeah. It looks brand new, man.
This is it. Freshly serviced. Yeah. There you go. So freshly serviced, you can put those on your car and they'll work way better. Anyway, you know.
They look better.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, this needs like scrubbing, right? But that we can at least figure out later. But anyway, the main stuff before it goes in the clean room, all the grime's off. You know, we can get to the pinholes and stuff now, you know, if we're going to open them up, all the rest of it. But I mean, judging by the condition of that top cap, I would say that these are probably barely used, you know. Everything looks like it's in great shape. The bump stops, they don't even have any grime on them. You know, those are like the first things to turn dark brown and fall apart in your hands when things are old, you know.
Yep.
And the shocks still have some gas pressure in them. That's the main thing. So super official check here, but you know, just let's say the Coles notes of what we've got to do, everything looks pretty good. Obviously those springs are, yeah. When you start to see springs that look like this, then it can be that they're worn out, but you start to lose the diameter of the actual coil. So they're going to get softer, and there's a risk that eventually they'll just snap because they'll start to develop a weak point. So for sure, if your springs start to get like this and they are relatively new, pull them out, get them repainted. If the car's got TÜV, you're going to need the special part number that's on it. Otherwise, when the cops pull you over, you're going to get in trouble. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. I mean, we'll try and get you some new springs. That's the plan. And go from there.
Yeah. You think all the clickers work?
Haven't checked them yet, but essentially, you know, yes.
Can you tell me a bit more about the suspension? Like,
yeah, okay. So I mean, this is a KW V3.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way. I don't know why it's V3. Maybe it's the third shock they've ever made.
I don't know. Problem.
Yeah. This is your compression adjuster because this is a twin tube damper. Mm-hmm. So essentially, it runs in a circuit. So as the damper compresses, it goes through a little valve that's sitting at the bottom of the shock, and then it goes through that valve and around the outer tube, and then back into the inner tube. So as it compresses, it goes through there. the shaft itself, as it's coming in and out of the shock, there's a little jet sitting at the end of the shaft. And as it pulls and rebound, it's got a little bypass port, which is essentially adjusted by this little wheel up here. So that's your rebound.
Yeah.
And when you click that guy, it gets stiffer and rebound. This one here, when you click that one, it's stiffer and softer, plus minus, you can see there. Generally speaking, it's always clockwise on some shocks. It's counterclockwise. It's always good to read the manual. RTFM.
Yeah.
Read the fucking manual. Yeah, so this one was fully closed, but the clicker's working in compression. And rebound, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one was relatively open, let's say, in rebound. Yeah, I don't know what the baseline clicks are for these dampers. Again, RTFM, read the manual, and we will figure that out. I'll open them up anyway so that we can play with them. But yeah, so far, everything looks good. Like I say, all the parts themselves look like they're in great shape. And we've had it many times with like the KWs. They do seize up and they fill up with junk. You know, the main thing is that check that these things are all spinning and clicking as they should, because it's just a little ball and spring underneath that's giving you the clicks. You know, and if that's full of grime and eventually it starts to corrode, then these things pop off and then you either have to buy a new one or you can't adjust them at all and your shocks are stuck in fully closed, which isn't good. So,
well, I was a bit worried when the guy told me that they have been on a car that has been standing for a long time, and for that reason the springs are in that bad condition,
right,
as you can see. But overall, from what I'm seeing, they're not really
when you
bad.
look at them, they're okay. Sure, these are stainless steel. You can see that's a magnet.
Yeah,
those are stainless, so these are inherently always going to look good. You know, that's, I think, one of their advertising points. But like you say, often if things are really old or they've been driven in the wintertime, then these guys get all seized up almost right away. But they're moving, you know, that's the main thing. And like we say, the shocks definitely have gas pressure. You know, this is just in a rough check at the moment, you know, but they do have some pressure. The fronts for sure. The rears, I don't know if they pressurize them really. I think they do. But yeah. They are rebuildable. We can open them, but I don't think that there's any need. We can go and check and make sure that they're straight for sure. We'll spin them in the lathe. We just calibrated the lathe, so it's running nice and straight. We can use that to check.
Okay.
All right.
You don't need to think, right?
Nah. So we're over in the dirty workshop. Please pay no attention to the dirty workshop. There's stuff everywhere, but it is what it is.
We've seen worse.
This is like our strip and grinding area. This is it's still a precision machine, but it's the manual machine shop, let's say. Yeah, it's time to do a scrap run. Yeah, all new. Just did a full rebuild on the machine again. You know, a little recheck, put some new jaws in the chuck, rebuilt the gearbox, all the rest of it. So she's running nice and straight at the moment. Don't want to over clamp it. Yeah, it's running straight as an arrow. I could put a feeler gauge on it, but I don't need to.
That's cool. Makes me happy.
Yep. So, numero uno. We just put them into the V blocks right now. These are V blocks. See, that's a V. Yeah. V block. It's used for fixturing. You can use them for many different things, but what we'll do is we just basically have a quick spin because we can't fit it in a lathe. And I'm just using a reference on the table just to see if they're straight. I mean, I have a feeler gauge there, but in order to do that, I need to actually make a proper fixture, which I would do, but these are pretty much new, and I'll be able to see, like, the question is right now, are they crashed or are they not crashed? And this one's not crashed. That's simple. The shaft looks like new. Everything's beauty on this. You know, super untechnical, but it's all good, man. Everything's beauty. We'd normally fix these, and then we put like our shafts or something like that in it. So if we've got like a piston rod, for example, here from this touring car, you know, give these quick clean just so that we don't damage anything. Now these would obviously never bend, right?
Yeah.
But we can give it a quick spin just to see if it's bent. If, for example, let's say like, I'll show you a brand new one.
This will be cut.
Well, whatever. You know, for example, that's like a piston rod, you know, and if it was held, if the end eye sits on here like that, you know, you'd often get a bend here, or the piston sits up here. Sometimes that bends. So for us, it's really important to sit there and see like, okay, is it cool? You know, or it bends in the middle. So if we can see, it's okay, you know, then everything's cool. We also have like a little feeler gauge, put it in the fixture, then we can run a feeler gauge on it, and then you can sit there and you can watch it if it's like, woo, because it's super, super fine.
Yeah.
You know, but we're not doing that right now. We don't need to.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I think these are fine. These will do exactly what you need them to do. Fair buy. They were in good shape. Like the guy said, they've just been stood, but they're functioning, let's say from a visual and inspection, you know what I mean? From, let's say, feel and experience. Obviously, like we were just saying off camera, a lot of springs are not meant to run in the wintertime. And when you do run them in the wintertime, then this is what's gonna happen. If you do wanna run your springs in the wintertime, you need to take them from brand new, have them blasted, zinc coated with like a zinc powder, and then do a final coating with the color that you wanna have. That's what you've got to do. Otherwise, they're going to look like this. If they start to look like this, we've already talked about it. They'll snap, they get soft, you get loads of problems. They start to make noise. The spring seats start to fill up with paint and rust, and it's just gross. So, you know, and obviously, if that's sitting on the shocks, then the shock starts to eat all that rust and all that paint, and then everything goes to shit. So you don't want that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking of your time to explain all these things and let me film, and for checking the shocks as well. And
cool, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
let you know when we find you a new set of springs, and yeah, you're probably going to use them in the winter, and you're probably not going to powder coat them because why would you? But you know what I mean? It is what it is. Just keep them clean, spray them off, and you know, as much as you spray your car off in the winter, spray your shocks.
We don't
clean.
get too much salt in Bulgaria, so
there you go. The main thing is clean shocks. Clean them. If you go on track afterwards, take your wheels off, clean your shocks. If you're going to clean your car in the winter because you don't want it to rust, clean your shocks. Shocks are on your car. Simple.
in your car.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cool, man.